On the topic of Trump and Biden and where you fit in, is, you got to take votes from both of those guys in order to make this happen. You're starting to get the attention of the Trump campaign, which is probably a good sign for you. And the Trump spokesperson, Steve Chung, came out and said the voters should not be deceived by you, suggesting that this is a, quote, vanity project for you, for a liberal Kennedy looking to cash in on his family's name. Now, it is true, according to you, that you voted for Barack Obama in 2008, and you voted for Hillary Clinton in 2016, and you voted for President Biden in 2020. So why shouldn't Republican voters have some doubts about you?
Well, I would say, first of all, that, if you're, my promise when I announced this was that I was going to try to persuade Americans that they weren't Republicans or Democrats anymore, and that they were Americans, and that they're Americans first. What I would say to you is, I'm not going to characterize myself as a conservative or liberal. I'm neither a Democrat or a Republican. Listen to the issues. And if you don't agree with my issues, then you should vote for somebody else the way that I handle the issues. If you have a candidate who agrees with you more, who thinks it's okay to be at war in the Ukraine, who is okay with the $34 trillion debt, who's okay with having 60% of American kids have chronic disease, and who's okay with the regulatory agencies in our country being run by the industries they're supposed to regulate, and this corrupt merger of state and corporate power that President Biden and President Trump have presided over, then if you're okay with all that, then you should vote for one of them. If you're tired of those things and want to do something different, if you want to change, if I get elected president, all that's going to change. The government's going to stop lying to you. Why? Because on my first day in office, I'm going to issue an executive order saying that any federal employee who lies to the American public in conjunction with his job will be fired. I'm going to stop the CIA from propagandizing Americans and from censoring Americans. I'm going to fire any federal employee who participates with the mainstream media or the social media in censorship. I'm going to stop the chronic disease epidemic and save this country $4.3 trillion we're now spending on chronic disease. When my uncle was president, 6% of Americans had chronic disease. Today it's 60%. Diabetes in this country. When I was a kid, a typical pediatrician would see one diabetes case in his lifetime. Today, 1 out of every 3 kids who walk through his office door is either pre-diabetic or diabetic, and it's costing us more than the defense budget to deal with diabetes. President Biden and President Trump have never mentioned that issue. They're never going to. They're never going to fix the budget deficit. Why? Because they ran it up. President Trump, in his 4 short years, ran up $8 trillion in debt, more than all the presidents combined from George Washington to George W. Bush. And President Biden is trying to beat him on that. And neither of them are going to deal with the existential issues that are actually threatening our country. So if you want to label me as a conservative or as a liberal, I don't think it's accurate. I think I'm trying to have a common sense solutions to what's happening in this country. I promise to listen to people, to change my mind when I'm wrong on the facts, to not demonize and marginalize and vilify other Americans, but to try to find the common ground that we all share in common, rather than, focusing on the trials and the culture war issue and the race issues that, Republicans and Democrats are all trying to get us to focus on. And it's like jangling the keys. even the issues that you focus on today, Megyn, are all culture war issues. It's like
these are important. These are important too. I have a huge audience, Bobby, as you know. I have a huge audience, and these. But listen, no. That's not fair. Don't go there. I know the issues that interest my audience, and there's a reason this is one of the top shows in the nation. So don't disparage what matters to them. Okay? The issue about young women and young girls and our rights and due process on college campuses and the right of the unborn and the immigration issue and race baiting by our highest officials, those matter. Those matter. Your issues matter too. I love what you just said. It was the best answer you gave the whole interview. But don't diminish what matters to my audience, because that's also important. I'll give you the last word. I blew my last commercial break for you. I'll give you the last 40 seconds.
Yeah, I say, focusing on there's certain issues that are allowed in the political dialogue. And I didn't mean to disparage your issues. I'm just saying those are the issues that everybody talks about. And then you look around and you say, but, there's all these other issues like the continual wars and nobody's talking about. And no, you're right. Those are the ones I get I'm trying to focus on. I got to cut you off because the computer's it's going to end us in 10 seconds. Those are important, and we've discussed those on some of your earlier appearances, and I hope there'll be another one. As we draw near another critical election, it's not just about casting your vote, it's about elevating your voice. I want to tell you about the Association of Mature American Citizens, or AMAC. That's more than just a senior discount organization. They unite like-minded patriots committed to preserving our cherished values and actively opposing the leftist agenda. As AMAC's membership grows, Washington listens. Every new member strengthens this movement. If you love America, check out amac.us/Megyn and consider becoming a 4-year member for just $30. AMAC membership gives you access to the AMAC magazine, free Social Security and Medicare guidance, money-saving discounts, trusted news, sweepstakes, and more. Take advantage of their election year sale, 4 years for just $30. By joining the over 2 million members, get your voice heard. Join now at amac.us/Megyn. That's amac.us/MEGYN. Hey, thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes.